Today on the program, Ohio voters get to decide about their unions, and Johnny comes marching home.
And if you voted for Obama, no gun for you.
Hello, welcome to the program. I am your host, Fat Man.
And I'm Little Boy.
And we are here with you today in our new studio with our new equipment. So I hope
Yes.
everything is coming good.
New camera. Hope it works.
New audio system. Hope everything works. We're messing with that for hours today.
Yes.
We don't have a great engineer. I'm sorry, but we don't have a great engineer. He's getting better though. He's getting better.
Well, not if you go by what happened today.
What a disaster. Anyway, hope you're enjoying the new scene.
Yeah.
And we'll be in our new studio hopefully next month.
Hopefully.
So, Little Boy, how was your week?
It's been nice. It's been real good. How's yours been?
It's been good. Kind of busy. We have one of the unions that I was involved with here in San Diego was protesting this week, and I was supposed to go down there, and my vehicle broke down.
Oh.
Battery cables rotted right out.
Ooh.
So I had no way to get down there. I felt terrible. Plus, I wanted to go down there and get some of this on tape and then maybe bring it into a show.
Yeah, that'd have been cool.
I'd like to do some stuff like that. I don't know if the viewers would be interested in us going out. And,
Well, we talked about we got the new camera now, so we can probably do some location stuff. We can give it a try, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, we come right back in here.
yeah, that's it. Hi. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about today.
I got a couple interesting calls
go
this
ahead.
week. First, my dad called, and
Okay.
he'd been listening to a couple of shows, and he had a comment about we had talked about when Steve Jobs had died, and we had talked about Steve Jobs, and he heard that I had mentioned that he was an Apple nerd. So he thought that was pretty funny, and he agreed he's an Apple nerd, but he wanted me to be sure that I knew that he was not an Apple snob. And there is a difference between an Apple nerd and an Apple snob.
Enlighten us.
Well, we have a buddy who works for Harley Davidson, and
We
he
do.
is a Harley snob.
He is a snob.
Well, a Harley snob.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. He's a Harley snob.
Apple nerd
He's a
is
snob.
someone who, they love all the Apple products and all of that and know a lot about them. And the Apple snob is the one who says this is the only thing there is, and anybody who uses anything is using an inferior product. And that's not the way his attitude is. He just, but he is quite the Apple nerd.
Well, it's funny because our show is mainly PC, but I know that the new system that we hope to get in here is going to be Apple run. So,
Right.
and it's just interesting because in the world of video and audio, Apple pretty much runs king.
Yeah, I've heard that it's really good for video and audio editing and all that stuff. I'm not into any of that stuff, so I don't understand. The only Apple I know is
Your phone. Well, I'm actually looking forward to it because I want to learn. I want to be able to play with it. So,
sure.
and they're not going to say, hey, get out.
Yeah.
They'll say, no, it's a Fat Man, a Little Boy show. So you let me play. Anyway, okay, so that's what happened to me this week.
Yeah,
And
and that's
I would
that's
sure
it.
love to talk to your old man. We should call him
Yeah,
up.
I talked to him. He laughed when he had heard us mention, we should have brought him on. He laughed. I think he'd be down for it sometime. We got to find something that he'd be interested in talking about. He does think you're an idiot along with me, so that's good.
Because he is liberal. But I do like him more than you.
Who couldn't? My father-in-law is listening to the show, and he happens to agree with you, and he thinks I'm an idiot.
And your
So-
father-in-law is an excellent gentleman. He's extremely intelligent, and he is correct.
He is an excellent gentleman. He is not correct, but he is an excellent gentleman. I agree with you there. He's great. I really do like him.
Well, let's get to some of our stories today.
All right.
Speaking of unions, I wanted to talk about the Ohio. Now, you know what happened in Ohio, how the governor and the legislature decided that they were going to stop collective bargaining for government employees.
Yeah.
Now, the NLRB, which is the regulatory commission for unions, they do not allow, or they don't cover, excuse me, not allow, but they don't cover government employees. Collective bargaining is, for like everything else, supermarkets, auto workers,
Collective bargaining is just where you bargain as a group.
right? You bargain as a group. I mean, anybody could, Yeah. So the NLRB is not involved in that. I know we were talking about that before. I was saying how they can get away with certain things. But on November 8th, Ohio voters, so they actually brought it right to the ballot, will decide if government employees should be allowed to collectively bargain. And
now this thing they're bringing to the ballot, is it one of those weird ones where if you vote yes, you're voting against collective bargaining, and if you vote no, you're voting for it? Is that
I
how
sure
it is?
hope not. I haven't seen a copy of it. I'm sure that since it's a couple of Tuesdays away, that we will see it.
Yeah.
And we'll look at the ballot and go, what?
Yeah.
But still, right now, most people oppose the government's. Okay. This is what's confusing, and I'm trying to read it too. You're right. I can see how they're trying to confuse it. Most people oppose.
Here we go. In July, opponents succeeded in getting a referendum called Issue 2 on the ballot aimed at overturning the law. Voting yes means keeping the law.
Right.
And voting no means eliminating it.
Right. And a survey showed that most Ohioans want the law to go away. 57%.
And this is the law that allows collective bargaining?
No, this is the law that doesn't. This is the one that they just passed a few months ago. You remember how they were marching on the Capitol there?
So the people who want it to go away think that collective bargaining should be allowed.
The law, they want the law. I know.
Yeah,
See how
I know,
crazy
it's
that
very
is?
confusing.
People that want the law to go away want collective bargaining to happen. This is
Right.
for school teachers. This is
Right.
for, any public agency.
Yeah.
And it's huge. I mean, the people involved in this.
Well, one of the things that I did read is that when you talk about polling on this, the polling is going to be very, very inaccurate because it's the election season isn't like there's not a president and all that type of stuff. So there's not going to be as many people voting.
No.
So you're going to get a lot of people that are weighing in and giving an opinion right now. But when it actually comes down to it, not all those people are going to vote. So it's going to be really, really hard to read the
where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, I think that the people who it affects, which are the employees, they're going to vote.
Well, yeah.
So is it
And
gonna
you
be
got the
lopsided?
Republicans are going to vote because they always vote.
Well, yeah,
And they're going to vote to get rid of it.
not all of them.
Most of them.
I wouldn't, and I'm a Republican.
I know, that's shocking as hell.
So now the unions are now changing tactics.
You would have 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, 10 years ago, yes, definitely. The unions are changing tactics. Now they're starting to use more of the protesters to get their point across. Used to be before that they can just make it harder on the employer, by stopping stuff coming in or working together with other unions to kind of put pressure on them. And now they're kind of going towards the protesting. And matter of fact, this week here in San Diego, we had Occupy San Diego has been huge. I still don't have any idea what they want.
Because you haven't looked. If you look, it's right on there.
Oh, no.
They have 22 declarations they've released.
Right, but I have also...
Have you read them?
Yeah, a couple of them.
So you do know that.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, I've also seen some video.
Well, yeah, you're gonna
and
get-
when you ask the people, they're like,
yeah,
what?
you're going to always find that. Anytime you have any group of protesters, you're going to have a few that just kind of join in. They're not quite sure why. And I have a really good example of this. Back in high school... You're going to have to go back many, 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 many years.
You went to high school with me.
I did.
Okay,
I
so
was a few
just
years
many
behind you.
years.
So
Anyway,
you
go
might
ahead.
remember this. I don't remember what year it was. I'm trying to think. I think I was a sophomore. They had a big thing on malathion spraying.
I remember
Do
that.
you remember that?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
And everybody was against malathion spraying for some reason. Everybody was throwing a big fit about it and stuff. And then one day in the middle of class, by second period class, I think, everybody, I guess it had been planned. They said, we're having a big walkout, and everybody walked across the street. I don't want to say what park it was, but you know what park I'm talking
John
about.
F. Kennedy Park.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, now everybody's going to know what high school we went to.
So what?
So everybody walked across the street to Kennedy Park. And guess who walked across the street to Kennedy Park also?
You did. And
Sure
so did I.
did. Hey, we could have bumped in. We didn't even know each other back then. We could have bumped in. That's funny, is we went to high school together. We didn't even know each other, and now we're kind of acquaintances.
Yeah, the friend word is tough.
Yes.
So anyway.
But I had no idea. I didn't care. I just was over there because I had a chance to ditch school, and it was cool, and everybody, thought it was a cool thing to do. But I had no idea why I was over there. And you have that, you're going to have that with any group of protesters. So you got a lot of people in the media finding these people. These people do not speak for everybody,
No.
you know? And there are legitimate concerns. And right now, this is all the people can do right now. They say, you know, things aren't right. We want things to change. And this is how movements start, you know? So everybody who's saying, oh, they don't know why they're out there, and, you know, that's ridiculous. And for people like you to say, I don't know what they're talking about is not right either, because you do know.
I know some of the stuff that they're doing.
Well, I don't think
But
that
some of they change.
they haven't released a platform yet. I think they're going to release an actual platform in November sometime, is what they said. But it's been like grassroots. It just kind of was random and it started. It's not something that like they had all these meetings and everything was all formal and they said, okay, now we're going to go protest. It was just something that just started, you know?
I've heard a lot of people talking about where it actually started from. Some people are saying it's like a communist thing. Some people are saying it's a socialist
That's a word. Those
thing.
are words that are thrown out
I'm just
there.
throwing them out there too.
I know you are.
And then some
What a
people
surprise.
some people say it's a little more of the really, really, really radical Tea Partyists, but it doesn't seem like Tea Party at all. I mean,
I've never heard that.
no, I mean, because the Tea Party is there wasn't as much rioting that's happening. Actually, there wasn't any. I mean, now we're having all kinds of stuff that's going on. Some people say they're against Obama. Some people say they're for Obama.
Right.
Some people say they're against the government. Some people say they're for bigger government. It's just confusing. And I watched a bunch of videos this week.
I'll tell you what, the main problem that a lot of these people have is the fact that corporations buy politicians, and it's not right, and it's
They
not
buy them
fair.
everywhere, though.
Right, but it's something that they want changed. I think that it's something that needs to change too.
It does.
You know?
But
You know, corporations can give the most money. You know, you got the top, you got the top 0.11% of the nation that their wealth is growing, and everybody else's wealth is shrinking. You know.
So what do you do?
The United States right now is built to favor the ultra rich.
I have a question
And the
for you.
reason why it's built to favor the ultra rich are because they're the ones with the power, because they're the ones with the money, and money shouldn't equal power.
But I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. How does the protests help that? Wouldn't it be when you know that if you look at the protesters, how many do you really believe are going to actually vote?
No, I understand what you're saying. But it's the start of something. All this is the start of something. And maybe 10 years later, maybe there will be reform. And maybe they'll look back and go, you know, that all started when those guys started protesting. Not that they were the ultimate people that, you know, that actually made the change, but that's kind of started people thinking.
Really?
You know?
Because
You
most
never
people
know.
think, well, from what I have read and from the people that I have talked to, that they have no idea what they're doing. And that, you know, that it's just a bunch of people who want to go out there and protest.
It's not that they want to go out and protest. It's a lot of people that are fed up with the way things are. A lot of people that don't have jobs. A lot of people. Now, there's a lot of people that we've talked about this ad nauseum. There's a lot of people that don't have jobs because they don't want jobs.
Yeah.
So that's not what we're talking about.
And they're there
here.
too.
That's not what we're talking about, though. There's a lot of people that want to work. There's a lot of people that go to college. They have, $50,000 in debt, $100,000 in debt, $200,000 in debt, and no job. You leave college with a freaking mortgage, no house, and no jobs.
So the question is it the government's job to give you a job?
No.
Well, then
They're saying that it's that way because of the way that the country is, and
That's
they
the
don't
way they
like
feel
it.
it is.
Yes.
Okay.
They have that. That's their opinion. They think that that's why, and things need to change. And this could be the beginning of the movement. This could be the start of something, or this could just be nothing. But these are people who are fed up. They're just finally fed up. They don't like the way it is, and they're fed up. And they're not happy with Obama either, because they thought that maybe he would make, But he has to answer to corporate too, because that's where a lot of his money comes from. That's where all of the politicians' money comes from, and that needs to change.
here in San Diego, I was watching a lot of the footage in the last few days because yesterday we had someone who got really injured, a protester that had, but he went after a police officer. So guess what? I recognize a lot of the protesters as people I've had dealing with before. Not all of them, obviously. There's some people I don't know anything about, but there was a lot of people down there that were just there just because, they're bums. They wanted to hang out. They wanted to get the food. They wanted to sleep in the tents. They wanted to be there. And these are the same people I've had issues with before. Now, I understand.
That's not what it's about.
Not what
You're
it's supposed to
picking
be
a small.
about.
That's what you're picking a small part of it, and you
do that to me all the time. You'll pick one little thing and drive me crazy about it. But what I'm trying to say is I don't know that. Just your Malathion story was perfect. You're right, because people kind of just join up just to join up.
Right.
But until they actually have a platform, I don't think they're going to be taken seriously.
Well, they're having a hard time. They do plan, but they're trying to really, really make sure that it's a true democracy. And true democracy, I don't know if is ever going to be actual possible, because you get 20 people in a room and you try to get 20 people to come to one consensus, and it's very difficult.
I'm afraid that I don't believe it's democracy.
That's what they're trying. They're trying to make sure it's very fair and everybody has a voice.
Maybe that's what some
that.
people are trying to do. But from what I have seen in L.A., San Diego, Oakland, of course, New York, the video that has been coming through, and I'm not just saying I watch one over the other, because I do a lot of internet. So internet's pretty much freelance people. And most of them were just like, I mean, there was a whole topless thing in New York.
That's
and there was
not
like
representative
50 of them.
Yeah.
And they said, we're here because government's keeping us from keeping our clothes on us. And
well, you should have you should be right along there with them too, then, because you don't like the government tell you anything.
Tell me
so you should have been there with your top off with them.
But the reason why that is there is because that's just a decency thing.
Well, it all depends on your definition of decency. We could do that with anything as well.
Speaking of topless, we read that story this week.
We sure did. First of all, I did not realize that you were allowed to be naked in San Francisco.
And every time I've been there, I have never seen anybody walking around naked. I mean,
where are these naked people in San Francisco? Apparently, you're allowed to be naked in San Francisco as long as you're not in an aroused state, is what the article said.
I'm afraid that I could never be naked in San Francisco.
You want to talk about somebody who could clear a city out?
You don't have to worry about anybody being offended.
There'd be nobody left.
Be there. Oh, anyway.
But they were saying something about you need to put down a towel before you sit down and all that type of stuff. It just seemed very weird. It just seemed
that city. I really like San Francisco, the area. I mean, I love it up there. In Monterey, where your folks live, and I love it up there. I go there every year. I was there this year for vacation.
Yeah.
But that city is so crazy. It's just
crazy for you.
Well, come on, be honest. I mean, they do some weird stuff in that city, and I'm not against the people in the city, whatever they do on their own. But
that city is, as long as they're not hurting anybody, and when you go to a city that has laws like that, if that stuff offends you, then you need to just stay away.
Stay away. But I didn't even know it was there.
I didn't either, so it's not a big problem, I guess. But I guess there was they're trying to pass laws. If I remember the article correctly, they're trying to pass laws basically that say that some restaurants are allowed to say we're a non-nude restaurant.
That's it.
You have to wear clothes in our restaurant.
No more in here. Actually, I believe they're trying to make it an ordinance that in the restaurants no more.
And the thing is, it's funny is you just have to decide where your line is, what you think is decent or indecent. Because to me, as much as I like or dislike nudity, when I want to eat, I'd rather people are wearing clothes. You got to remember, everybody talks about naked's great and everything.
Whatever happened to no shirts, no shoes, no shirts, no shoes, no service,
no dice.
This is come on in, flapping around.
Just put a towel down and don't be aroused.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that when you sent me that article. I mean, because San Francisco's been on the show a few times.
Yeah,
last week with the 25%. This week with it's legal to walk around gay. Excuse me. It's legal to walk around nude. Yeah, see, it creeped out. But
back to that decision you had to make this morning when you woke up.
No, we don't talk about that. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, so if you're in San Francisco and you want to walk around nude, just carry a towel.
Yeah, put a towel down. Stay out of the restaurants.
Okay, you had something you wanted to talk about that the president announced this week.
Yeah, President Barack Obama announced on Friday that, last Friday that is, that a nearly complete withdrawal of American military forces from Iraq will be by the end of the year.
About time.
Yes.
I'm very happy for that.
Yes.
Question. Will Iraq be able to take care of itself?
Well, you're going to have people tell you both yes and no. I think bottom line is how well were they taking care of themselves before we were there? I guess we're really not going to know until we're out of there, and you can only hold their hands for so long.
Oh yeah, I think 10 years 10 years is enough if they're ready to go. And we lost almost 5,000 soldiers that year. But I don't want to lose any soldier. you know, but they did such an amazing job to only lose, and I think it's only like 49 or 47 or no 4,400. How does that happen? I mean, it's one is a problem, but how do you have 4,400 or close to 4,500 dead U.S. after 10 years of war? I think that's a testament to our troops. Don't you believe? I mean, that's unbelievable. And of course, my heart goes out to every single one of the families. That's the worst. You know, the parents.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, you're never supposed to go. Your kids are supposed to live longer than you.
Right.
You know, and if they don't, I mean, gosh. But I just don't want to see us back there in 10 years. We got to fly in this dude.
What do you think about Mitt Romney? He's speaking out against this.
He's saying that we should stay longer.
Yeah.
I think every single troop out might be a mistake. I think you might want to leave back some.
Well, they're going to always leave some.
Yeah.
They're always going to leave some. So
I don't see eye to eye with Romney on a lot of things.
But if he was up there against Obama, you'd vote for him, of course. Of
without
course.
a doubt.
You'd vote for a chicken if they put the chicken up there and said he was a Republican.
Well, the Democrats did put a chicken up before. That's the truth. Anyway, I don't know. I know where he's kind of has the same concern that I'm talking about.
No, he says that it's because it's due to politics.
What?
That's what he says. It's because of politics. He's doing it because he wants to get reelected. That's what Mitt Romney is saying.
Really?
Yes.
Because there's that many people who want troops to stay there.
He's saying that's the only reason that Obama is doing it is because he said he would, and now he has to, so he can help get.
I do believe politics is a huge reason why they're still there, or why he's taking them home. Don't you agree that there's politics at all? You saying that there's zero. This fly is going to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
You're saying that there's zero reason for them to have been there. Look at this sucker. Look at this. Can you guys see this thing?
Last time I was waving the fly around away, it didn't show up on the video, so I looked like a retard. So I'm just gonna sit there and pretend like it's not there.
That's not why you look like a retard, little boy. Sorry. But anyway,
you can't say anything is 100%. But I think that he had decided that by such and such date it was time to get the troops out. And that date is coming up, and he said it's time to get the troops out, and now, Romney's saying, the only reason he's doing it is because of politics and stuff, which is bull, which is bull.
Politics has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Let me tell you, I didn't say that. I said nothing's 100%, but let me tell you this. What if instead of saying, we're going to get the troops out, what if he said, I said we're going to get the troops out, but I think they need to stay another year to make sure that, we secure Iraq, and, he gives all those reasons and stuff. What does Romney come out and say then?
Well, he's competing against him.
I know, but what's he going to say? He's going to say he promised to have them out, and he didn't get them out.
But he also promised to close Guantanamo the day he was sworn in.
Let me tell you,
but that was impossible. He didn't know then. You could promise the sky.
Well, first of all, every presidential candidate comes up with a list of the stuff he's going to do.
I'm going to do. But then also,
I got to give it to Obama because he's going in. He's actually trying to do a lot of those things, and he's being fought on it. And people are saying, he's only doing it because of he wants to get reelected and all this stuff. And at the beginning of his of his term, I know I heard you complain about, and a lot of people complaining. He goes, he should just focus on one thing. He's trying to do too many things. And which is the same people. Which is the same. We got the healthcare plan through.
Not for long.
No, because you guys are fighting everything. You guys are fighting everything. Everything he tries. We talk about this all the time. Anything he tries to do is fought.
It's
because you don't want him to accomplish anything. You don't want him to accomplish anything. We let the last president accomplish plenty, and look where it got us. It got us into a recession. It got us into a war that we shouldn't have been fighting. It got us into a whole lot of stuff.
And he brings them back.
Well.
And the return.
And we've come full circle.
I am sure there's politics involved in this, but I'm not against it. I think it's great. You're going to have to leave some behind just for security operations because you cannot allow Iraq to turn into a terrorist state. Because it will. I mean, it could. It could very easily if we turned our head goodbye. But I also believe that we need to bring the troops back because I think we're going to end up back there again, not in Iraq, but darn close.
Well, yeah, there's always going to be other problems out there, but I think enough is enough. It's time they should have never gone there to begin with. Enough is enough.
Well, they shouldn't have gone to begin with?
We shouldn't have started this whole thing in Iraq.
Really?
Yeah.
So you'd have been fine with Hussein staying in there?
I think that we didn't need to go in and attack and do all that stuff. I think there's other things that could have been done.
Really? Like what?
Well, we could have done, there could have been sanctions. There's a lot of things that could have been done.
They had tried everything with this guy.
Yeah,
he was defiant and he didn't care.
That's not why we went in there, though. We didn't go in there because he was defiant and he didn't care.
Well, actually, I do remember.
But that's not why we were told we went in there.
Remember that if he would have given up at the beginning and left, we weren't going in. And I remember that President Bush had given him months to do that. Everybody was upset.
But President Bush said that we went in there because President Bush said that he was the one who attacked us on 9/11. That's why.
No, he said he was involved in it,
which he wasn't.
We don't know that he wasn't.
Well,
nothing has ever came out.
We don't know that you weren't either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Though,
you don't know. So why didn't we attack Mexico? We don't know they weren't involved either.
Because I think that. What do you think would be more intelligent way of thinking? Mexico was involved.
That was their thinking too. We can go into Iraq because that's what he always wanted to do, was go into Iraq. We can go into Iraq, finish what my dad started, and we can use this for the reason. That is what happened.
That's your opinion.
Yes, it is.
That is totally your opinion.
That is my opinion. There's other people that have that opinion too, not just me, but that is my opinion. Yes.
But if there was nothing really to do there, you know what I mean? We really shouldn't have been there. Then this president today would have taken them out the first day. But he said there is still security issues there.
Well, yeah, we made it much worse over there for a long time, and we had to.
Not worse for us.
Worse for them.
But not worse for us.
Well,
and for the last 10 years, we've been pretty good here in the U.S. I mean, again, we've lost 4,500 soldiers there, but we didn't lose any American lives to terrorism.
No.
I think two things were accomplished here. One, I do believe wholeheartedly that Hussein had influence in the terrorism network, without a doubt. And that's
a very, very vague statement.
Well, I'm just saying, I think he did have influence.
Lots of people had influence, and lots of people had more influence than him.
I'm just saying. Well, and the other one's gone too. So, I mean, come on.
There's more.
But what I'm saying is, I think he had influence. I think that countries that decided they were going to start trouble with the U.S. saw what happened in Iraq, and I think that was actually a little wake-up call. They see what's happened in Afghanistan. Now you have another two countries that are going to get into it on each other, because now you have Iran and Saudi Arabia. And with Iran trying to assassinate the ambassador from Saudi Arabia to the U.S., you're going to have tensions there. And don't forget, Iraq's right in the middle of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're right there. You got Iran, you got Iraq, you got Saudi Arabia. So, I think we're going to be back. I think that this president is going to be in for 2 more years at least, and he's got to worry about this. I think this is something that's going to end up coming up in the next 2 years.
We'll have to see. I think that I think there's always going to be issues there. Well, not always,
but of course, there'll be issues there forever.
So
there has been and there always will be.
I think pulling the troops out's a good idea, and I don't think that it was done for political purposes. I think it was done because it needed to be done.
I think there was politics involved, but it did need to be done.
Every movement a president makes, there's always a little bit of politics involved. But right. I don't think that that's what it was majority of, and that's what Mitt Romney is saying. And I disagree with what he's saying, and I hope you do too.
I disagree with it being majority, but I do think it is politically motivated. But it does need to be done. See what I'm saying? It is politically motivated, but it needed to be done. So I do agree one thing.
Everything that a president does has political motivation.
There you go.
So
then that's it.
So we got to take that part of it off the table. The bottom line is he's doing the right thing, and Mitt Romney's making it sound like something it's not.
He's also running.
Got to be careful to say something bad against him, because if he's the guy, you're going to be voting for him. So you got to be very careful.
Gosh, I hope not. They got to come up with somebody else.
No.
All right, so here we're at. You also sent me a article, which was great. I love this. There's a gentleman down in San Antonio, Texas. He is a gun dealer and also an instructor, and he does it because in Texas you could carry concealed if you've gone through a special class, and he's an instructor, gun dealer instructor, and apparently he is now saying, go ahead, tell us.
Let me bring it up here real quick. He is saying Muslims need not apply for his Obama voters and Muslims need not apply for his gun course. But that's not quite all he says.
Oh, there's more than
He was in a radio ad and he says socialists, liberals, those who voted for President Barack Obama, Arabs, and Muslims need not apply for his concealed gun license class.
Because he will not teach you to class. He
Yeah.
says. Yeah.
You've already proven you cannot make a knowledgeable and prudent decision as required under law.
Well,
Also, if you are a non-Christian Arab, I will not teach you this class.
and you have a problem with this? I'm sure.
Well, first of all, I
don't think he's going to have a problem with too many Obama voters actually going to his class to start with.
No, we've run into. I'm kind of on the. I mean, I think this guy's an idiot, really, and I think that if he's teaching a class that is going to give him a license, that's something that's licensed by the state, I think he has to follow specific rules, and I think that one of them is. Let me see if I can find it here. Certified instructors are required to comply with all applicable state and federal statutes.
Okay.
Now, don't those say that you can't discriminate?
In employment.
That's it?
If you provide a service and you are not paid by common money, so basically say you're not taking money from the state, it's your
But
own.
if he's giving, if he is, let me see if it says here. State public oversees the concealed carry program. He has to get some sort of money from the state. He's putting on this program for the state.
Well, here in California,
so he's got to receive money for
here in
doing
California, because this is one thing I know. You can give the firearms test, because there's a firearms test to buy a handgun. You're not given any money by the state. Matter of fact, it costs you money to send somebody to have them certified. But you're
given something that's state. You're giving somebody a license that's issued by the state, right?
No, they don't give the license. He just gives the instruction so that they can get the license. See, what happens is, and that's the same thing here. You're given the instruction so that
it says
you can
here
pass
he's
the
a
test.
certified instructor.
Right, and you have to be certified here too to give that test. But they have the right here to reserve the right here, to refuse service to anyone. Doesn't matter.
I think that it matters. I think you can reserve. I think you can you have the right to not, teach somebody, but you can't do it because of race, religion, that type of thing.
Well, he has the right to reserve. He reserves the right because he has the right
refuse service
to refuse service to anyone,
but not based on.
Why? Why is that different?
I don't know.
If I could do it to anyone,
right.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
To
I don't
give
know.
my
I think
service
it's a weird.
to anyone.
Then
what if that anyone is anyone that's this or that? He's not hiring these people. You are not required to go to him. You can go to any instructor.
I'm wondering if the state though would want to have a certified instructor that was basing who they taught on what they believed or who they voted on. You think that's a good representation of the state?
There's firearm instructors.
Do you think that's a good representation of the state?
Oh, no, and that's why the state threw on there.
Yeah.
Well, here you go. He has to abide by all applicable laws.
And here's
and you're right. He does. He can't say, hey, I'm not going to give you this license because you're this or that or the other.
That's
he
what
says,
he's saying.
I'm not going to give you the training.
Right. So you're still
right. Because he doesn't give the license.
Right.
The state gives the license. So the state
based on his training.
No, you have to have training.
Right.
Right. So it's not just him. There's a million instructors.
I don't know.
State.
It's such a.
I understand where you're coming from. You're just upset because he says Obama.
No, I'm not just upset. I'm upset anytime anybody is refused because of what they believe.
Okay, well then I have a question for you. I have a question for you. You're a man.
Yes.
Try to go to Curves and get a membership. Why can't you get a membership at Curves?
Oh boy. See, this is where this.
Why can't you?
It's a female gymnasium. It's a female gym.
And?
For females only.
So they're discriminating against you because you're male. Yes or no?
I guess.
I mean,
that's I know.
Okay, I mean, I'm not trying to defend this guy. I'm trying to defend the fact that he's a private citizen who's doing a service, that you come to him. You're not forced to go to him. You can go to anybody you want.
I just don't think that the state should have anything to do with somebody who is basing who's allowed to participate by what they believe in.
Okay.
I don't think that the state should have anything to do with that. And at the same time...
But the state doesn't. The state has nothing to do with him.
But the state has to certify him to teach this class.
He goes to a state sponsored class and gets certified as an instructor.
Right.
But
So-
that's it. That's the end of it.
Okay, so they should remove whatever credential he has if it has it, because what he's doing has to do with the state. Because in order
Right,
to get
because
your
he's an
license to the state,
instructor.
right? So they should say he is not accredited or whatever if this is what he's basing on, because you can't. The state can't have anything to do with that.
At Curves, they have state licensed therapists that work there. They are licensed by the state to
I
be a
don't
physical
believe you.
therapist. Yes, they do. They have them there. So they're state licensed.
I don't think we're talking apples and oranges here.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there because
I know,
I know where you're at.
trying to defend him because first of all, he's a gun guy.
No.
And so you want to
No.
defend all of them. And second of all,
I would defend him if he also said that anybody who voted for Bush said, can't do
see,
that.
and I
Because
would
let me
be
tell
the
you
other-
why.
and I would be exactly against it as well, because I don't think that you should be basing it on that.
I think that every private citizen has the right to do what they want to refuse service to somebody. Fine, do it, because it's them. Now, if they're taking my money, no, that doesn't work.
We'd have
Like,
to do
if
some more
it's
research
tax
and see if he
money-
gets any money from the state. I'd be really
Well, that's
interested.
and that's
in
what
this.
you have to pull up. But I mean,
because I couldn't find anything on that. If he is getting money from the state,
then that changes everything, because now he's using public monies, and public money comes from everybody.
do the
So
do the Boy Scouts get money from the state?
I don't know. The Boy Scouts, another organization. We could throw the Boy Scouts out there.
Yeah.
If you're a girl, are you in the Boy Scout?
Well, not even that. I don't think the Boy Scouts allow you to join if you don't believe in God.
Is that true?
I read that somewhere that you can't.
There you go.
They kept people
well,
out.
I know that they've been in the Supreme Court a lot.
Yeah.
But they're still going strong.
I don't have a problem with the Boy Scouts if they're not taking money from the state or from the government. If the second they're taking money from the state or the government,
That's
then
a
you've got to
problem.
include everybody.
Yeah. Well, and so that's something you need to know, because this guy, if he's not taking money, he could do it.
And the thing
because
is,
there's men's clubs, there's men only clubs.
yeah, and the thing is, this
There's
is this
Christian
guy.
only clubs. There is
Yeah,
Jewish
but I
only
think
clubs.
They'll allow anybody in there still if you want.
No,
I don't
well,
think that
I
they
think-
refuse you to come in.
Well, no, because
Just like churches.
Christian wouldn't do that.
Any church you can
But I'm
go to,
just
it doesn't
saying-
matter if you belong to it.
But there are clubs like that. I mean, there are clubs.
There
like
are
that.
Christian clubs and there are Jewish clubs and stuff, but I don't think that they restrict their membership still.
There's German American Society.
Yeah, but I could be a member of that.
Well, you can now here in San Diego because they need more people, but they used to be a closed society.
Yeah, well, maybe they
there's
changed
there's motorcycle clubs. There's 1%ers. Well, they don't have to have you there if you're not this.
Yeah,
that,
but
and the other.
that's a little bit different. We're talking about different. But
I
it's
know,
funny
but
you should
what
talk
I'm
about
saying
motorcycle
is-
clubs because one of the things I wanted to talk about on this guy is when it comes down to when somebody comes out and they put themselves out like this, then what happens is, let's say the state comes in and they say, you know what, you cannot do this if you want to be.
if
you
he's
want to be
getting
doing
government
this,
monies and he
right.
can't do it,
Or
he should not be able to do this.
let's assume that that's the case.
Then he's wrong.
And they come in and they say, you know what? Anybody can take your class. You can't limit it based on that. So then he has to do that. Then what you start doing is you start having people that want to go in there to disrupt. You're going to have somebody that goes and says, you know what? I voted for Obama and I'm Muslim. And guess what? I'm taking this guy's class now
Well, of
because
course
I
you
can, and I, I mean, I would just, me personally, I just stay away from somebody that's an idiot like this anyways. Just like, we were a member of a club before that was open to everybody, and we had a few people that had joined just to disrupt things. That's the only reason they were
true.
there. And we had actually discussed ways of removing them and kicking them out of the club, and we couldn't figure a
Couldn't
way
figure
to
it
do
out
it.
because we had to be fair.
But the only reason they were there was to disrupt. That was the only reason, and I'm not for that either. I mean, what's the point in going just to disrupt something? If people want to be idiots and they want to be in their own idiot thing, then let them do that. Why do I have to go there? And why would I go to a prayer group? They have their little prayer group and they all have their Bible reading class. Why would I go join that just to cause trouble?
Well, I understand. I'm not defending this guy's
Yeah,
views.
you are.
No, because he's an idiot. Because really, who
Wow.
cares?
Right.
I want the more the merrier with guns. If they're an Obama voter and they're legally able to have a gun and they want to carry it, good for them. Because that's going against, you know what I'm saying? That's saying, I want to carry. And I love the Second Amendment, and I think that that's something that we need to do more of. Because he kind of went overboard there. But if he's not getting government money, this is my view. If he's not getting government money and he's offering a service that you do not have to go to, you can go to anybody else. You have to actually find this guy and go to his class. If he don't want you in the class, goodbye.
I just think even if he's not giving government money, anything, even if he's affiliated with the government, which I guess he is.
Yeah, but everybody's affiliated with government. We have a license affiliation with the government for broadcasting. Everybody is affiliated with the government.
I'm talking a different line than you are. You know, I mean, if he's teaching a class that is required for a government certification, then I think that he should not be able to pick and choose who takes his class. Just because
we'll have to see what happens.
Has stupid beliefs and people have different beliefs than him.
Well, I tell you what, then this is your task. Keep tabs on it, and let's see what happens.
I will. I'm interested in this idiot.
So, little boy, we've had a good show. I know we have a lot more to talk about. We're into the 40-minute mark.
Wow.
I think we're good.
Yeah, that flew by.
Thank you all for listening to our show.
Yes.
As always, you can get us at or you can send us an email at comments@fatmanandlittleboy.com. We received a few emails this week. One of them was from a friend of yours that was always friends of yours for some reason are kind of crazy. So I'm not going to read it. Couple other ones that were on AJ. We talked about last week, AJ.
Yep.
You know, but they got a little bit mean-spirited towards AJ, so I'm not going to read those as well.
No,
but thank you very much for your emails coming, and a couple of voicemails this week. Really good. Sorry we're running a little bit long this time. So like I said, you can always get us at comments@fatmanandlittleboy.com, or you can give us a call.
858-522-9164.
You can go to our website, fatmanandlittleboy.com.
We're available to download our podcast on iTunes.
Or you can go to our YouTube page at PMLB, Enterprises. PMLB is in capitalize, and the Enterprise. It's all one word.
Yes, no spaces. And you can join our YouTube page, and then anytime we upload a video, it'll give you an email.
Right. Or just go to the website and watch them through there, too. That's fine, too. We are going to do some changes, like I've promised before, on our website. We also have a sponsor this week. It's Wow Mom Cooking. Wow Mom, thank you again for sponsoring us. We were expecting some food.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get some food. You told me to come in at a certain time, and she's going to be here, and she's not.
I smell the food.
Well, where is she?
I know.
Maybe we should just go help ourselves.
It's like that time on Seinfeld when Costanza was bringing to Steinbrenner. He's taking
the calzone. Costanza's in the building.
He's in the building. I smell it. Okay, well, that was our podcast or netcast for this week.
Yes.
I am leaving.
I know. We're going to try and squeeze one more show in, maybe.
Maybe. I'm going on vacation. I will do the best I can to get another podcast out or another video cast out. We might have to do a podcast over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see.
There's nothing we can do about it.
We'll play around with it.
So, but we'll do our best to get a video cast in.
If not, we'll have a whole bunch to talk about when you get back.
Yeah, it's true. If you have anything that you would like us to speak about,
yes,
please send us an email, because we're going to open our show to viewers, their questions and comments and concerns.
Yep.
So, and
that's it.
That's it. All right. Again, I'm your host, Fat Man.
I'm Little Boy.
And we'll see you real soon.
Take care.